noticed, I've got someone with me. This is Naomi, and she owns Elsie Mays. So for those who don't know who you are, beyond the fact that they know you own Elsie Mays,
Yeah.
and I've already plugged Andy, by the way, for this a moment ago, because we keep changing it every guest. Could you introduce yourself? I know from the last couple of years the impact that this whole time has had on you and how you've managed to deal with that in such an amazing, positive, forward-thinking way. Would you be so kind to share some of that journey over the last couple of years as well?
Absolutely. So I own Elsie Mays Electric Lounge, which is just off the Market Square in St Neots. So I opened it just over 3 years ago now. So it's a cafe and bar. I'd actually just quit my job. I worked in the charity sector, doing marketing, brand, digital, that kind of thing, and I just wanted to work for myself, and that was the end of sort of my
no
career.
Negotiation. That's happening.
No, well, exactly. And actually, it was when I'd quit my job, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I'd actually quit it the year before I actually left, and then we found the building that we're in now, and it was just amazing, and it felt like it needed another purpose in life because it was formerly a nightclub and just awful. So
it was it was a nightclub. It didn't last long.
No, it didn't. So anyway, we wanted to bring that back to life, and that's where the idea for Elsie Mays came from.
You certainly did. And there's a great picture on if you head to the Shifty's blogs, there's a great blog you put on there, and you put the picture of you. I still remember it, you with the dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stood in this space looking around, and then you, Andy, and your father, I think.
Yes,
at the front.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a really, really well written piece.
Yeah. So yes.
Not like you worked in marketing or anything.
No, not at all. So went on to open that, and it was mostly my love of baking, which I got from Elsie May, my grandmother.
Yeah.
That kind of inspired it, and here we are, still standing today. And actually, what's really exciting is. This is a bit of a preview, but we're officially opening the bakery this Friday.
Yes.
So we've grown the business to have the bakery.
Amazing.
As well. So we've been practicing. And when
I've been following, you've been literally like all sorts.
There are not many hours where we sleep at the minute because it's obviously bakeries work at night. We have the bar that works in the evening. So there's lots going on. So it's been a massive learning curve. I mean, it's been incredible. We've learned so much. It's all new. All new equipment. I'd never seen some of this equipment in the flesh before.
Yeah.
I got it in the bakery, so we just kind of have to go for it, give it a go, and see how it goes. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's
and that was off the back of a crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah, phenomenal crowdfunding campaign by the local community, which I'm forever grateful for.
Well, we're all grateful for it now because we get to eat gourmet fresh bread.
Yeah, so it's we're baking every day, trying different things. Developing our recipes, which undoubtedly we'll carry on doing every single day that we have it open. But it's exciting and scary, all in equal measures.
I've got so much time for you and Andy. That your energy towards what you're doing, just life generally. I mean, you picked such a hard time. It's such a difficult time to start a business in that industry. Obviously, you didn't really have enough time to even get your feet under before you. So I just had Tim on. Obviously, Tim was 2015, so he had a bit of time, and it was in the right industry when it comes to house sales have gone through the roof. But if you look at when you got in, you barely got started, and it was like coronavirus, bang, have some of that. And it's like, oh my God, it was just.
Yeah, it's certainly been a test of having to be adaptable at any given moment. And obviously with the hospitality industry, the rules and restrictions changed so regularly that we had to learn to be fleet of foot. And my team were brilliant because literally next announcement came in, we would digest everything, work out, get the meter ruler out again, try and measure the distances, putting new policies in place and make sure we understood it the best as we could because it wasn't always clear. And then, partly where the bakery came from, it was always sort of in the back of my mind to do this, but I'm not a baker professionally. It's not where my skills were.
No.
And I thought, well, actually, this is an opportunity for us to do this now because it's something that will really help our business. It's part of the community. It's something that's missing from the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, the pandemic showed how much people like to support their local business, be able to go get those fresh produce that have been baked that day.
Yeah, it's great.
And
I'm dribbling. Honestly.
So it was sort of, in some ways it was very challenging, but in other ways it was very positive.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good.
No, it's cool. And I know you've got so many different, are we out of focus, Christine? She snuck in, ruined it for her. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think I like the vision around wanting to help others bake as well. So
Yes.
It's obviously been, obviously today is very much focused around mental health, mental fitness.
Yeah.
It's clearly quite a therapeutic thing for you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, I've been known to, in my past when I've worked in corporate, and I used to work in social media. So some days, I'd have to do social media all day, responding to people and on, we'd get stuff trending and that kind of thing. In between, the chaos of trying to respond and keep up with everything, I just start baking in between, responding to everything, even though there's like more messages per minute coming in than I have to type. Like, I need to just calm. I need to do baking, and it's very therapeutic. It's and sometimes it is frustrating, because certainly with stuff like sourdough, it's 30 to 48 hours in the process from starting to finishing a loaf.
It's crazy.
So you think you put all of that work in and then it goes wrong at the last minute. It's very frustrating.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. My attention span is awful when it comes to that sort of thing. I just wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, we've had, I suppose, in some ways, you had to rethink how you look at it, because every time you do it, you learn something different. You understand when it goes wrong, what that feels like, and what might be wrong in the process that you can then do to change it, adjust, and then you have to then do it again.
Yeah, of course.
So, kind of practicing stuff over and over again is, in some ways, it's quite therapeutic.
Oh, no, don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Mindful in some.
I'm looking forward to the lessons. I must admit, because you are going to do some of that.
We are. Once the bakery is fully up and running, probably springtime.
Nice.
The bakery school will actually be taking place in the bakery itself.
That's
so
amazing.
You'll be able to learn where it all happens for us.
That's awesome.
Well.
Yeah. And you don't get that anywhere.
No.
Not in like towns like this. You don't seem to see that anywhere.
No,
I think it'll make a massive difference.
I think it will. We're really looking forward to actually the baking school part. That is a bit that I'm particularly excited about. And we get to be creative every day. We get to do new things and try different stuff. It's the joy of having your own business. And we're it's up to us what we do and how we, obviously it depends on what the customers want as well.
Well, of course, but but sometimes.
Sometimes, but equally we can try new things.
Yeah, but you're there to inspire them, aren't you? And that's
Absolutely.
The thing. And
so,
I see that on your Instagram all the time. There's always some fresh, random thing that will seemingly random to me, because you know what I'm like with food. But I'm like, okay, that looks really cool. What was it? There was like a chocolatey bread loaf.
Yes.
What's it?
It's called babka. So it's like an Eastern European.
Yeah, it looks.
bread. Often it gets platted and then served as a loaf. But Dan, who's my head baker, he did them into bun, and they just came out beautifully.
Oh,
but just
looks glorious.
They were. It's like, don't eat them all before you give them away.
No, that's cool. So is that the vision then? Obviously you've got a baking school coming up.
Yeah.
You've got subscription services.
Yes.
And box subscriptions.
Yeah, we're hoping to kind of go into the online sales sort of thing. That will certainly come into probably Q2, Q3 this year. A lot of it is dependent on working out the storage or the packaging and everything.
Yes.
We're not exactly a big space, so it's a lot of logistics. But we'll also hopefully have online baking school as well, so we'll be able to do stuff online. And
that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So there'll be lots of opportunities to learn and get involved and try and sort of share what we know as we've learned it, because we are learning. We learn every day.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? I think the best teachers are learners.
Absolutely.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If you stop learning, then what good are you to anyone else?
Well, exactly.
That's interesting. So I'm just interested to understand how you've managed those stresses. I've been trying to get out of my guest today something that people that are watching this back can take from it from themselves, in the sense of, maybe a lot of people are considering, actually, you know what, I'd love to run a bakery, I'd love to run my own bar, I'd love to, because you've done them all.
Yeah.
you're done and doing them all.
Yes.
You're a wonderful cafe in the daytime. At nighttime, you turn into a cocktail bar. You've got the bakery going on.
Yeah.
You've got the online stuff coming soon. Honestly, mentally, how has that been in terms of a challenge to you? Was it what you expected? And if so, what was that? And if not, what was that?
I suppose, yes. I mean, undoubtedly, running a business like this, it's full on 24/7. It doesn't really stop. There isn't, I think last year I had 10 days off in total, maybe, give or take. I think I had 2 weekends away, and that was crazy. It. But I mean, when I say days off, I don't mean I have weekends, because I don't. I work.
No, exactly. Well, of course, yeah. So every weekend
you give up an awful lot, and obviously, that is a big consideration for running any business, and certainly in the hospitality industry, because even when the doors are shut, the operation doesn't stop. It's always still going.
There's deliveries, there's just the staff issues, there's recruitment. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's always a challenge. I mean, the last 3 years, if I'd have predicted what was going to happen, it was certainly never going to be where we are now. What it's probably taught us is how to be adaptable and fleet of foot and keep on moving, because the pandemic has been challenging, but equally business is always going to be challenging.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it's probably helped us think a bit more agilely, and to actually kind of go, well, maybe that's not working, we have to change. But it's pushed us to our limits in terms of the mental side, and actually keeping yourself sane. It just, with a business like this, it doesn't stop. There is no let up.
No.
If some days I'm having conversations at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm still working at 11 o'clock at night. So they're very long days with many hours and it's physical work because you're baking and stuff. So, my average sort of walking day is about 22,000 steps that's quite a quiet day for me.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of sort of moving around. But
you've got to have, met your father, I've met obviously Andy.
Yeah.
You've got wonderful staff.
Amazing.
You've got really good people. How important is the relationship you have with your staff and the people around you when it comes to your own mental health and managing that? Because nothing wrong with challenge, right? You like the challenge. You everything about you says you've always loved the challenge.
Yeah.
But I don't see you as someone that would ever want to partake on something alone.
No. I mean, people around me have been phenomenal, really. I mean, I've had to sacrifice an awful lot of family time and things like that to run this big business. I don't see my family anywhere near as much as I would like to, or be able to give them quality time in a way. But I can't. My team are just incredible. They've been there for me when I've been at my lowest, and they're there to help me make it my highest.
They're lovely people. They really are.
They're just incredibly dedicated, and I'm very fortunate to have the people that I have around me, really, to be able to do what I can do.
Well, you've attracted it.
Yeah.
And, in the culture that you've created, and you being yourself, you've attracted nice people.
Yeah, we're lucky. And nice thing about our, we have a bit of a laugh and a joke as well. And some days you do get tested, and when you've got 20 odd orders kind of staring at you on the board and a queue of people at the till, it's very easy to get flustered. But they're just brilliant and just keeping calm and working their way through it. And
they crack on, don't they? They don't mind
they
that.
really do.
And they just got lovely. They say they understand people, and they care about their customers, which is lovely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So we had earlier on, I don't know if you caught it. There's a lady on here, Sarah Lovett Edis, and she runs the Shush Experience.
Oh yes,
the Tick Box.
Yeah.
And I came out for afternoon tea one day in Elsie Mays with Christine, and I was surprised to see madness of like cabaret going on in there. And it was fantastic. It was absolutely amazing. Is that I've been reading. I do a lot of research into the high street and retail and that sort of thing, and I'm very excited about the future around experiences.
Yeah.
is that something that we'll see more of, do you think,
I hope
moving
so.
forward?
Yeah, I mean, live music is actually my background because my first profession is I'm a cellist. So I've been doing music since I can remember, and I've played instruments all my life. So I still play in orchestras now. So when I'm not at Elsie, I'm actually performing. So I keep myself out with trouble quite a lot of the time. But live music was always a part of what I wanted to do with Elsie Mays. It was part of what my grandmother loved. She was very much a supporter of music. So obviously the last few months COVID is just
basically it doesn't exist.
So we're hopefully the events will be coming back and thick and fast, and definitely want to be able, when we're in a kind of safer place to do
it was mad. It was brilliant. It was funny because Andy came up on the Friday, I think. It was like, so don't be alarmed if the fire alarm goes off for the weekend. That's like, what do you want about, dude? It's like, there's some fire. Okay.
It's just an average day at our place.
Really, it sounds about right, doesn't it? No, it's wonderful. just quickly before kind of wrap up, we had this really interesting conversation this morning with KD from Romsey Mill.
Yeah.
And Danny, we were talking about relationship with music.
Yeah.
And young people, music being an outlet, but also we were talking about it being an inlet in the sense that it's a way in to young people in terms of through a conversation.
Absolutely.
Orchestra says to me lots of people.
It does.
And where there's lots of people, there's community, and when there's community, there's change. Have you experienced what has that experience been like for you coming into an orchestra, but also seeing the change in young people getting involved in that sort of activity?
My life, I've been playing with groups. I've been playing with groups, small groups, big groups, all sorts. So since I started playing like most children when they want to get into music, start with the recorder. But I actually was a flautist. That was my first.
What's that?
Flute player.
Oh, okay.
So I played the flute, and I got, I took it further on. I actually started the cello because my flute teacher at the time told me I had sticky out teeth, so my teeth stuck out, and she told me I would never be a professional player because my teeth stuck out.
Wow.
I was about 8.
Oh, what a thing to say to an 8-year-old. Wow, brilliant.
Me and my family in our practical way went, all right, well, just play the cello then. It's a string instrument. That'd be fine. Wow. But the nice thing about playing in music is a way of communicating in non-verbal ways. And you have to learn so many skills as a musician from playing, you work as a team, you work as a section. So in one of my orchestras, my cello section is about 10 players. So, you'll have to make sure you're playing together, playing consistently. But if you don't all play together, then you're all playing slightly differently. So that doesn't work. So you work as a team to then listen to the rest of the orchestra. So it works on your listening skills. You have to watch what's going on, but not just the man waving the stick in front of you, but what else is going on around you. So you learn so much from playing together, and then you build that sort of team culture. Yeah. So, most of the musicians I play with now, I've been playing with for 20 plus years. Wow. So, it's a really lovely
those relationships.
Absolutely. And there's something about playing music to a live audience that you just can't get anywhere else. Yeah, I bet. There's those moments, and one of my favorite part of a concert is when you play, there's like with the orchestral works, sometimes they go on for an hour, they're mostly somewhere between 40 minutes or so. And the audience, in the traditional sense of how audiences should behave, don't clap in between any of the movements. So it can be quite pretentious in some places, but actually that's not how it really should be. But once you've got to the end of playing a massive work with 100 players playing, all the sound of the orchestra.
All coming together at one moment.
And then the conductor and the orchestra play their last note. There's this kind of moment of silence, and it's just incredible, that feeling of what you've just done. And the audience are sort of taking in what's just happened. You can't beat that feeling. It's absolutely incredible.
It's like a exact moment crossover of optimism and anticipation in one hit.
Absolutely. And
how
also
cool.
The emotion of what you've just been through in this kind of, I hate to use the word journey, but my one of my conductors always says, you come to rehearsals on Tuesday nights and you play it. When you play it in the concert, it's different. And I'll never get a concert day on a rehearsal day.
No.
There's something about a concert that just brings the orchestra together. It's incredible. And of course, that makes you stronger as a group of people when you play together.
Nice.
So,
an advocate for humans getting together and doing cool things.
Absolutely.
In every sense. Baking, drinking, playing instruments.
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
involved.
Do anything.
Amazing. That's amazing. So I've been asking 2 questions of everyone.
Yeah.
First, what color would you like this changed to?
I'm going to go with orange.
Orange?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice, isn't it, actually? Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Do I turn that
like
up
that.
a bit deeper? There we go. Beautiful. And the second question I have is, what are you most excited for in 2022? And that could be for you, that could be for business, that could be for something completely external.
Well, for me, selfishly, I'm just looking forward to bread. The fact that
Me too.
Yeah. But yes, I think for me, it's just about sharing. I mean, sharing what we know, sharing what we do, and learning from others, because we don't know everything, and just being able to collaborate and bring our knowledge together with other people would be just amazing. So that's what I'm hoping that this year will be about.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. And I thank you for all your support.
Oh, well, thank you for your support as well, because, you know, the Shifties in the community and yourself and Christine have been amazing.
Oh, well, it's the whole idea. That's what we do. We help each other out. That's
Absolutely.
the whole premise for the attitude towards business. Well, it's much appreciated. And I appreciate the gift as well for the raffle.
Yeah.
So if you donate, you can also win a prize from Elsie Mays. You can win a voucher for their beautiful bakery, or cocktails, or food, or just go there for lunch. Like, they're pretty adaptable, like to what you want.
Dog.
Yeah, bring your dog as well. Yeah,
get
lots of dogs in there. Well, thank you so much.
No worries.
Okay.